Hello, everyone. Today I'd like to talk with you a little bit more about school improvement planning. I hope that you have made copies of or have on your screen the handouts that I prepared for you under this module with regard to school improvement planning. I'd like to talk about them in order. I know that you can read them, and I hope that you have already done so. And I suggest that if you haven't done the reading yet, please do that first before you listen to my comments about the individual pages. I'm going to start with school improvement as response to district needs. And basically, districts, as I said, have a CDEP plan, Comprehensive District Education Plan, and schools should have their own goals and action plans, their own school improvement plan that is related to the district goals. It is really important that individual schools assess where they are and where they want to be, and I've talked more about that in this module. When you assess where you are, it is the time to recognize what works. Recognize the things that you're doing that are effective. And also to celebrate all of the successes. That's really important. School improvement planning doesn't mean that you change everything that you're doing, but it does mean that you examine what you're doing and you decide deliberately to continue doing what you know is working, and then broaden what you're doing in school, what your best practices are, so that you can improve upon the things that are already effective. In school improvement teams, you should have representatives, and I'm sure that you do know this, from the faculty, from staff on the school, parents, and in high school, students. It's really important to have the participation and perspective of all the stakeholders, because I think you get a richer body of experience from which to draw. I'm now looking at the handout of the next page, School Improvement Assumptions and Strategies. One of the things that it is important to remember, school improvement is a journey. It's not a destination. It takes time. And so if you really are expecting to have success, then you need to be patient with the process. It's a long-term, visionary driven process. So be comfortable with the fact that what you're doing takes time, but in order to have real quality, you need to take that time that's necessary. Going on to the next page, potential results of school improvement planning. Not only the adults should celebrate their successes, but students should as well. And when school planning really is effective, people feel really good about their accomplishments. As I said before, because this is not going to be a destination where you get to a point and you stop, it is important that you view this as a continuous improvement process. That is a very important concept not to lose sight of, so that you're constantly building on your knowledge, monitoring and adjusting what is included in your plan. Now I'm going to go to the packet that starts, actually I'm going to show it to you. It has this pyramid, and I'm going to start and make some comments on the bottom of that page. And that's the readiness aspect of school improvement planning. It really takes time for a faculty to be ready to make the important decisions about what their goals and action plans should be. So as an administrator, you need to have very high expectations, involve stakeholders in the conversation and the learning. You need to build a trusting climate. And so if you're a new administrator, the first thing that you need to work on during that first year is build the relationships, build a climate that is positive and trusting, and also build the knowledge base of your faculty, staff, and the parents that are involved. The reason it's so important is that without a solid knowledge base, how can you be sure that the goals and the action plans are based on best practice? So you don't want people's opinions coming out of thin air. You want to build their knowledge base so that when recommendations are made for specific goals and the many action plans that will be needed to achieve those goals, you know that what you're deciding to do is based on sound research. Going up to the next level is planning. Obviously, you have a school improvement committee or team, and together they plan for the implementation of the goals and action plans. So in order to get this done, I recommend that each goal has a specific committee with someone in charge and committee members. Also, I believe that as you are approaching the belief system about what you as a school want to work on, what your vision is, then you provide for training so that you have the tools to implement these best practices effectively. Now, as you plan a school improvement plan, usually you should aim for a 3, 4, or 5-year plan. However, at the end of every year, every academic year, you need to monitor and adjust what you've been working on within your school improvement plan. So therefore, there's always continuous improvement. It is not a static document, but a dynamic document that is reviewed at the end of every year. And obviously then the next thing that follows after the review is the evaluation of progress and the adjustment of the goals and action plans. On the next page there is a sample for you to look at of what district goals are. You can read those for yourself. And I think that you will agree that looking at this example of district goals, it is clear that the things that you want to work on in your own school improvement plan will easily be aligned with the district. Now, a mission statement is normally brief. I've given you 2 samples, one from these Lancaster schools again, and the next page is the mission from Lindbergh Elementary where I was principal. In the mission, you need to capture the belief system of your school. And there is a lot of research on the development of mission statements. I think it's very helpful when you work with your school improvement team to develop the mission, that it does align with the district mission, and that you give them samples of many types of documents. It's really not necessary to reinvent the wheel, and I think what you'll find in your research of mission statements is they're all fairly similar. Therefore, use what other people have done to inform you about the style, the wording of mission statements, and then your team will develop one for your own school. The vision also is really, really critical. It should describe what you think the potential of your school is. I've given you a sample vision statement from Lindbergh Elementary again, and it talks about, in 3 paragraphs, the school and what the school is like, and our vision for the school, the students and their student activities, and what our vision is for student work in the school. And then finally, the faculty and staff, and what our vision is about how the faculty and staff will function. Personally, I think it's really important to do some research to support the importance of each of your goals. I've given you a sample called Goal Number 2, and it has to do with improving test scores, which I think you'll find is one of the goals in almost every school. But there should be a rationale and a research base for including something of that nature. So know why you're doing what you're doing and go for it based on what you know about best practice.